Like, I'm seeing videos of people moving into RVs because they cannot afford home ownership, like, or they can't afford rent. So it's just cheaper to live in an RV. Like, this is crazy. Why can't the wages be high enough where you can live comfortably as a single person? I don't know if I'm ever going to be a homeowner, let alone ever move out of my parents' house. Because rent alone, you have to make 3 times the rent. What's 3 times $2,000? You would have to make $72,000 to afford that. And if you can't afford that, you have to have someone who loves you enough to co-sign for you. Like, and then on top of that, if you do live with your parents or family, the BS that comes with that. Like, as much as you may love your family, I guarantee you when you're my age, 27 or 26 years old, or you're getting close to 30, you don't want to live with your parents anymore. But I don't make enough to afford to move out. Like, even now, as a higher level position of a job that I just got, I'm still not gonna make enough to move out. Couple dollars more an hour, I'm still not gonna be able to afford to move out of my parents' house. I'm still in credit card debt. I'm still living check to check. And if I did not have my parents' house right now, which I'm sharing a bed in, and don't have my own room currently, I would be homeless. I would literally be homeless. And I was only able to get this job that makes a couple dollars more an hour after putting thousands of applications in. Was just able to get this job, like, is gonna keep my head above water with my bills. And it's very high stress too. I think the American dream was once a thing where, like, our parents and our grandparents, they don't know what they're talking about. Half of them give the advice of when you're 18, move out, do this. That was possible for them. That's not possible for our generation now. That's why I don't even shame people who are doing OF right now, whatever. It is hard as hell to make a living right now. It is so challenging. And most people around me are too comfortable. They're too comfortable at their low-wage jobs. They're too comfortable with where they're at. And I'm not. Every day I wake up, I'm like, I don't like where I'm at. I should not feel like this. I'm meant for more. I should strive for more. But a lot of the people around me have just kind of accepted their fate and accepted where they are. I think that's all there is. And I'm like, no, that's not all there is for me. The cycle of poverty is so hard to get out of. I'm going to make a part 2 to this.
The American dream is debt. Let's talk about it. All of the aspects of the typical American dream is literally debt. Going to that incredible university, the private out-of-state university or the Ivy League university, you have 6 figures of debt. Driving that nice car, you have a 4-figure car note. Having a mortgage, you're locked into a 30-year loan. If you want affordable health insurance or a 401k, you need to work in that 9 to 5. If you don't want to be screwed by the tax people, you need to get married and have kids. The American dream is to be in debt and to have so many dependents that you have no choice but to work and work and work until you literally can't work anymore and have no choice but to retire. That is the American dream. And we're also taught socially to subconsciously look down on people who choose alternative paths. People who are more free than the average person, people who choose not to have children, who choose not to get married, who choose not to work in corporate, people who choose to go to community college or trade school instead of getting, like up to 6 figures of debt at a university. People who choose to drive beaters or to buy used cars instead of brand new cars off the lot. Those people are looked down upon because that is not in line with the American dream, which is to get as much debt as you can so that you don't have a choice but to work. It's just something I've been thinking about a lot lately. Like, the American dream is literally just you getting into debt. So
I'm just going to say it because nobody else is saying it, even though we're all thinking it. The American dream is to leave America. I traveled the world for 6 months straight by myself. 4 months in Asia, 2 months in Europe. And no, don't come at me. I've been on my own since I was 18 years old. And yes, of course, I'm blessed to be an American. I'm blessed to have a strong passport. And I'm blessed that I've been able to start my own business and travel the world. But I'm telling you, I've been home for over a year now. There's not one city in the United States that makes my soul feel alive, that makes me feel like I have community, that makes me feel like people are loving and respectful and not divided and judgmental. It's toxic here. We have no love here. People literally think that I'm the crazy one. And I'm like, you guys, we're falling apart. I find so much more love and so much more support, so much more community in Bali. I'm in Spain, and I'm in Italy, when I'm in Thailand. I've traveled to 10 different countries by myself. I'm telling you, being here will strip your soul. I say this because I want to see if anyone else is feeling this way. And if you need help, like I want to get out as well, and I need direction to make money online and support myself financially abroad, please contact me. I'm a business coach. I can help you.
Average Gen Zer says they'll need more than $500,000 a year to feel successful.
I don't think our generation can budget their way out of this.
With young adults hitting major life milestones like marriage and financial independence later in life, there's anxiety over whether the American dream is achievable for them.
Do you feel like hard work pays off now? It's like really hard to say.
Our generation is starting behind, loaded with student loans, higher interest rates, housing costs exploding.
Finding a spot to rent in the city is hard, and with mortgage rates going up again, buying a home seems out of reach. A survey published last year showed nearly a third of Gen Z adults, under 26 at the time, still lived with their parents.
I'll walk past like a real estate place and just see listings, and I'm just like, that's an amount of money that just seems like I can't even imagine. It feels kind of insurmountable.
Every time I get paid, it's either my car payment I have to pay and car insurance, and then on top of that, phone bill. So it's like so much at once hitting me, and then my credit card that I have to pay off.
I think there's an assumption that Gen Z is ungrateful, difficult to work with, expecting things that we don't deserve. And the reality is much of our generation is working really hard.
They still have some hope in the American dream.
I know that this is a country where people can achieve their dreams. It's just getting harder and harder to do.
From 1948 to 1973, for 25 years, the U.S. economy was so amazing that you could conceivably get a job. I mean, a regular job. I don't mean an amazing job. Just a job. And the pay would be so high and the benefits so amazing that you could not only afford to buy a house and feed your family, you might be able to send your kids to school, and you might be able to retire really well. That was the only time, in fact, in human history where a person could work and make wealth. Because if you look at the middle class today in the United States, they don't make wealth. They barely get by. But for 25 years, people were prospering. If people aren't fretting about food, if they're not worried about shelter, if they're not in constant fear that the economic situation they're in will collapse, they have mind space to start to ask bigger and better questions. Wait a minute, what about civil liberties? What about civil rights? What about human rights? And the next thing you know, by 1954, 6 years into this explosive economy, we're in the middle of a revolution.
I was heading into the grocery store today and I was just like stressing over the fact that I was going to have to spend like $80 on groceries, right? Because that's a lot of money to spend for one person for 1 week of food. You know, theoretically, it really shouldn't cost more than $50 for one person for a week. But it's just impossible. And I was stressing because I really didn't want to spend $80 on groceries for 1 week. And so I was just like irritated about that. And I was trying to give myself a pep talk, like, it'll be okay, it'll be fine. Like, it's not gonna be a big deal. And I'm so relieved to announce that after, you know, grocery shopping exclusively store brand stuff and only buying 2 bags worth of groceries, I spent $116 for the week for one person.
Here's a breakdown of the typical cost of living for someone that's 25 to 35 years old without kids, and it's going to blow your mind. Just rent alone with a roommate can run you around $1,500 a month, and we all know people are paying more than that. Then you have utilities and internet around $175 a month, groceries $500, which is super conservative. Maybe you're smart, so you bought a used car, but you also have to pay car insurance, which is inflating like crazy. That's going to be around $700 a month. Health insurance, not including dental, which doesn't cover anything anyways. Then you got to pay for gas and your cell phone. That's another $300, plus debt payments for credit cards and student loans. It's going to run you around $500 a month. Streaming services, at least $50 a month, and I'm sure you're spending more than that. And then don't forget the Uber Eats. That's probably around $250 a month. Gym membership, $50. Miscellaneous shopping, hobbies, random, maybe a Starbucks coffee. You're looking at an extra $200, totaling to $4,725 a month. And to be able to afford $4,725 a month, you need to be making $75,000 a year just to pay this. That's not you putting any money aside for emergencies, retirement savings, out-of-pocket healthcare expenses. Let's say you have a dental issue, vacations, throw that out the window. Major life goals like a wedding, a down payment, no chance for that. Kids and childcare, I need to make a whole other video for that because there's no way you can afford a kid with that budget. Forget about skiing, going to the beach. You can't even buy Christmas presents for your family because you have no extra money. And just to be comfortable in this scenario, you need to be making around $100,000 a year. And how are you going to do that when the average person makes $50,000 right now? It just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, keep blaming the expensive coffees and the avocado toast.
So I'm starting my day. I just got some crazy news. My mortgage just went from $4,500 to $6,050, and it'll be effective March the 1st. I have never considered a bank, but I got this black hat and this black mask because, I mean, at this point, like, what the fuck do you expect? I'm trying to keep my kids in decent schools. I'm trying to, I mean, what the fuck do you expect?
I just wanted to tell y'all I spent $100 at the grocery store on these items. $100 for 5 bags, 2 items, a drink, and some chicken, and some vegetables. The fuck going on in America?
Ooh, baby, call me cheap all you want. I don't care. Well, but, why is everything costing so damn much now? Call me cheap. I know I can afford it, but baby, these prices is getting a little out of line. Cause why I spent $50 on 2 little pillows, y'all, and then I went to get me some little mini tacos. They used to be $12. Why my order almost come up to $20? Like, what is going on? Tea bags, $5. What happened to the dollars? The dollar tea bag. And why the dollar store $1.25 now? Ain't no dollar store no more. $1.25. God damn. Things just going up, baby. What is going on? And then Southwest, don't get me started. Got them no more free bags. What is going on with America? It's starting not to be affordable anymore.
The average Gen Zer says they'll need more than $500,000 a year to feel successful.
Do you think that the American dream is dead?
The American dream never fucking existed.
The American dream now costs $4.4 million.
There's hardly anything in my 401k. I'm not retiring.
What are we working for?
Do you think that the American dream is dead?
We cannot use the same playbook our parents gave us to live life today, right? We've been told this American dream. You work hard, you study good, you go to college, you get a good job, you climb the corporate ladder, and you will be able to buy that white picket fence home, go on 2 vacations a year, and have your 2 kids and a golden retriever. It doesn't work like that anymore. You cannot save your way to rich unless you are making upwards of $500,000 a year. You cannot get there through